let's request Shana to go live. That's it. Awesome. So good evening, everyone. Today we have a very special guest, and just now we got to know that she is from Mumbai, and it is my honor. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Yes.
Sorry, because I just got a call. Okay, so today we have someone who is a facilitator. She's a corporate trainer and image consultant with a history of working for 20 years in banking. She's skilled in banking. I'm sorry, can you see me?
No, we can't see you.
One second. Now you can see me?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, let's start again. So we have a special person today. She's here and she hails from Mumbai. It's very happy to know because we come from the same place. She's been a facilitator, a corporate trainer, and an image consultant, and demonstrated history of working for 20 years in banking, skilled in sales and customer relationship. She believes in empowering women in various aspects of financial plan. She's helping women in whatever way she can, and it's her foremost and most important part. For her, family and relationship is very close to her heart. If she can make a difference in someone's life, she will be blessed. It is such an honor to welcome you. What I can see is I read your profile in LinkedIn and you've got a beautiful, beautiful responses from all your clientele. It's our honor to welcome you. And I must say this photo is so catchy and attractive. I mean, you just have to wait and see this photo. As soon as I saw this, I was referring to them. That is such a beautiful, attractive photo. I mean, I don't know the color combination, the hair. I don't know what it is. It's merging so well with the poster color selection also.
Yeah.
So I hope you have a fantastic time, Manisha, and yes. Welcome to Brain City. So with a round of applause, let's welcome Manisha Chaudhary.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So we will miss you because you said you are leaving. So
I am physically moving around, but I'm connected to the phone.
Okay. So yes, very good evening to you all, and maybe good morning to ma'am who's there in Mexico. So welcome to this Brand City. You all are like, I think, the seasoned player of this area, and I being a newcomer to you all. And but yes, I will rest assured that one day I will be among you all. So I mean, I've kept my fingers crossed for that, and I'm just growing, and let's see how we can grow. Now, since she has already made such lovely introduction, so I don't need I should not go to again an introduction, but I'll just say, yeah. See, MK sir was asking me that, I mean, since I'm a banker, why did I choose this topic? I mean, why this family topic? But because that is what I felt that it is, it is the need of the day, first thing. And what I felt is like, in case I can make a difference to 1% of the crowd with whatever I feel about a family and whatever I feel how the relationship should be and how fun should be. I mean, how family should be like, it should not be complicated. Life should not be complicated. It should be fun. And then, the things move on. I mean, family and with fun, the relationship always, grows. So that is how I thought that, okay, yes, when Nidhi told me, I said, I'll take this topic because, yeah, I keep teaching finance and this and that. So this one is a topic you have heard. She told about Robin Sharma. I have been very keen, reader of his. So I keep reading all his books. Except at 5 a.m. because I think I cannot get up at 5 a.m. So that's the reason I have not read. But yes, except that I have read all these books. So, and everybody talks about it. Why this family is such prime importance. Everybody in the world keeps talking about how to bring your family, how to take care of your kids, how to have good relationships. So that is the most introduced topic and most talked about topic, isn't it? So it's nothing new which I will be teaching, but it's just that I'll just speak my heart into it. Okay, so here what we'll do is we will quickly discuss, as in how you can keep fun factor alive in family and have a healthy relationship, why family is important, how to improve a relationship in our family, and how can we improve ourselves. First thing is, if we improve ourselves, the rest of the things will fall in place, right? So it's always said, people don't believe in that, but I'll just take an example what she gave me. Sudeepa was, Robin Sharma had told once, and I had kept that in my mind for long. You cannot just force your kids to study, and you are watching TV, and you cannot force your kids to study, right? So if you keep studying, even if it's a newspaper or any magazine or maybe any book, the kids will definitely follow you, see you, and they will start doing themselves, right? So you don't need to just pull their ears and say, let's sit and study. So that doesn't work like that. So because that is like somebody forcing you to do that. So here, that is the same thing. If we improve ourselves, then the family and everything will fall in place, our kids will fall in place, all the relationship falls in place. That main part is missing. How to improve ourselves, are we wrong somewhere, and how can we improve and take care of ourselves, so that if I take care of myself, rest of the things falls in place, right? What we believe in. And the second thing is how to improve relationship with the adult kid. Now you have seen, I mean, needless to say, what are the how hot topics going on right now these days in India. But the relationship with our kids, with our adult kids, is required. Why should they why it should be like this, like you should be that your compatibility with your kids should be as such that they should just come and speak their hearts off. Like they should not be scared of speaking in front of you, like, oh, why should I speak this to my parents, I mean, why should I speak this to my father or mother. It should be, the relationship should be with your kids should be so good that they should not feel scared of coming and asking you or telling you anything in the world, right? And then we will discuss what are the stages of family. We gradually, like, I was a young kid, and then I got married, and then I had an independent house of my own, independent family. And how did I grow in that, and how did I brought up my kids. So that is the all the stages of the life, when how did I make my son independent. So these are all the stages of life where we can be in briefly I can just tell you, and so that we can understand what is, like, where are we missing and how can we improve on that. Yeah. So it's said that the average, it's about the US or maybe across the world. So average is the children spend the time with their parents, is like with their mother. It's almost like 120 minutes and a day. So that's very less, right? And with the father, it's all lesser than that. So it's almost like 85 minutes a day. So that in maybe right now the situation will be a little different because the parents are at home, so they are working from home, so the interaction with the kids are more. But normally, so it is the general survey says that this is the only hours which minutes the parents spends with their kids. And don't you think this is very less? First thing is, I think it's very less, right? So now everybody says, oh, I spend the entire day with my family. But are you really spending the entire day, or are you busy with your other work and your phone and your TV? And what is the quality of the time which you are spending with the kids is more important than the hours of spend, right? So we are missing somewhere, we are missing that fun. I'll just give you my example. The fun with the kids, fun with the parents, like, how many of you will think, oh yes, our relationship was very good, when even now, how many of you can tell me that, oh, my relationship with my kid is good? So no, my son can or my daughter can come and tell me any damn thing. So how many of you do you think no you apply on that conditions, right? So I'll tell you what I had and how I felt, I mean, how I inculcated these habits. And, these are all the, what we can say, the root of mine was strong because of my dad. I'll tell you a brief, just an example of that. When I was small, so we were a very closely knit family, a nuclear family, with my father, mother, and my brother and my grandma. She was a principal of the school, and my grandfather, I lost him at a very early age, so I don't have too much of memory of him. But this was a memory of my father, which I'm just telling you all. So when I was young, I used to see my dad. He was into business, so he used to get time in the evening, because that was a time when he used to come, interact with us, and ask us, "What did you do entire day? I mean, how was your day?" And he used to sit with my grandmother and ask her, "What did you read in the newspaper?" There were a lot of discussions used to happen at home, like, and my father used to say, "Okay, this happened in my office today." So I mean, there was a wide discussion of all these things. So it's almost like 1 hour they used to spend. In fact, my brother used to at times get angry, saying that, "Oh, my reminding me and saying that, oh, Manisha always gets pampering with my father," because my father used to just take me and keep me on the lap and just say, "Okay, yes, let's discuss the today's day to day the happenings." So this was what I thought. Okay, these were the memories of mine. Even now, see, I'm now 47, and now also I have those memories. So can you just imagine how old, how young I was, and I still carry that memory, and I still believe that, okay, yes, this has to be there with my son also. So, and that was the first memory of my dad and my grandparents, where I thought, okay, yes, this is missing. And today I was just seeing a LinkedIn article of somebody. It was just I was just going through the LinkedIn, and or maybe some WhatsApp, I think, not LinkedIn. So there was an article which said that, there was a TV, that black and white TV, and 10 people sitting in a drawing room, like, somebody sleeping and somebody playing, but all are in the drawing room. So that was a memory of what? That was a memory of people when we used to watch that Ramayana and Mahabharat, and all Sundays used to be like Spider-Man, and what, I mean, there were many other shows which used to come, but we used to be together. We used to sit there and we used to enjoy that. That is still missing here, right? Now people have got three TVs in three rooms, and people are, like, locked in one room, and they are not bothered to talk to our kids. I mean, what are happening, what is the daily happenings, and whereabouts are missing, right? So that is what we think. I mean, I am talking about the time when it was in 1980s. I'm talking about when, talking to the father was also very difficult, right? I remember many of my this friends used to tell me how close you are with your father. So yes, because that time, we used to say that, if even if you see the eyes of dad, you were scared. As soon as the dad used to enter the house, people, kids used to just go and sit and study, and then the interaction with the father was very less. But in my house, the interaction with my father was very, very close, and I used to just speak hard. So I used to bunk my college when I was little old. Then I used to bunk my college and go and tell him that, okay, I am bunking my college today, so I have bunked my college today. So that was the relationship which I had with my dad. And on Sundays, he used to sit with me. He used to, he used to play that record player. That time it used to be have we used to have that HMV record player, and he used to put the record player, and we used to dance, and then we used to have Chinese checkers. We used to have something cooked together, some Maggie or maybe something, but we used to cook together, though we had a lot of stuffs at home. But that was a time which my dad used to always sit and enjoy with us. Yeah. So that is why we think, I mean, when I say is see my surroundings, I have seen many of us, we are missing onto those things. We don't talk to our parents, like, we don't talk to our kids. Do we? How many times we go to our kids and tell them, "Oh, what's wrong? What, no, I see something is missing in you. I mean, I think you are disturbed." How many times do you feel we go and talk? We should, right? We should go and sit with our kids, give them an example of ourselves, our lives, so that they understand better, right? So that is missing somewhere. My friends tells me that I remember when my son was in school. So now he's 25 years old. So when he was in school, he used to just I used to work in kitchen, and he used to come and roam about, with me, along with me in the kitchen, and he used to just tell Aj, this happened in my house, this happened in my school, and that happened in my school, and all the time he used to, unless and until he was like completed with his, the entire day, he used to not sleep. And till then, he used to just open my eyes like this, and he used to ask me, tell me, and it was like that. And even now, he's the same. You won't believe, but he's 25 and still the same. And when he was studying abroad, he used to call me. And I remember 2 years, in 2 years, last 2 years, I had, I'm talking about some 2018, 19, I had never kept my phone on silent mode, because, the time zone was different. He was in US, and he used to call me for every silly thing. Even if he goes along, he's going around with some girl, he will be the first person to come and tell me that, okay, yes, this I did. Yeah, so that I think my friends keep telling me. And you know what used to happen? So this when he was in school, he used to tell me everything, and the other parents used to be not aware of those things. So when we used to meet in the parents teachers meeting, this guy, I used to know everything. I could tell them that, oh, this happened. So they used to be zapped. What? When did this happen? So then my son was warned by his friends, you better don't go and say everything to your mother. So so then their parents took my number, and they used to call me and ask, okay, now tell me what happened today. So that was the understanding between me and my son. And because that was done by my father. My father used to do that, and I still do with I lost my father, but I still do with my brother. I don't call him regularly every day, but yes, on Sundays we sit at least in the WhatsApp calling, and FaceTime. We see each other, we talk, and the entire family sits and we talk. So this is what we think we are missing somewhere. So why now, tell me quickly, why do you think family is important, and the environment in which the upbringing, the environment in which you stay is important? Can you just quickly tell me, somebody, why is family important to you? Anyone? Why is family important, sir? Can you just tell me why you think family is important? MK sir?
Bhatia ji?
Okay, so I think people are on mute. So family, why is
Family is
family
important to bring the real connectivity, the togetherness. That
Very
brings
good.
the oneness, and then you move as one group, this one.
Very
That
good.
whether it is a sorrow, happiness, everything, once we are ready to accept and share and other things, then there is no difference.
Exactly what is you are saying is what I have written. So I'll just give you a brief of that. So family set a stage for future relationship. Like, what I have been taught, I will same way likewise teach to my kids, right? And the same way he teaches to his kids, right? So people need family during challenging time. This is the time when we have seen how family is important, right? The COVID time has shown us how, this was such a challenging time, and staying together in a house was itself a challenge, right? So we need family during challenging times. Somebody falling sick, we need them, right? We need the other family members to be around. It gives a warmth, it gives a feeling of happiness and togetherness, right? So it is always so people raised in close family develops a healthy relationship throughout their life. It is linked to personal and mental health. So somebody who has got a very good, you will see, I mean, you can make out a girl, a woman, a boy, a man. You can make out we always say, we keep saying, right, this is the upbringing. This is, I think you are being your parents have brought you up very well, right? This is what we keep saying, right? So this is the it helps us in a personal and mental health development. Quality time with the family is linked to better academic performance. So if you see majority of them, if you have seen many of it, I see that, oh yes, she her house is like full of love, life, happiness, and you see how the kids grow, because of that situation, that atmosphere in the house. The kids, the brain is like, working in better ways. I mean, they academically also they do well. Why? Because that is what they are seeing, right? I just now I told you also, because I see that, I see my mother studying, I see my father studying the newspaper, I see my siblings, my sister studying. So naturally I will sit and study, right? So if I have a good environment, so maybe I will be very quick in learning also, right? So that is all interrelated to each other, right? and and then when we have a family, so it's normally said the people of joint family are very sharing, very loving, because they know, okay, I have a grandmother, I have a grandfather, I have a, my uncle, my aunt, and they are all closely knit and they stay together, they eat together. So automatically that sharing parts, caring part is more in that family. It is said, right, in India nowadays, the people are becoming nuclear, the family is becoming nuclear. So the reason, people are more confined now, so people don't talk to each other because, they don't interact because they don't have that habit, right? So when we have a very good family, a very close knitted family, so we learn the habit of sharing and caring to each other, right? So I'll give you an example. I was just remembering right now. So when I used to go to my dad's office, then that time dairy milk was a big thing. In case you perform good, your dad used to give you a dairy milk. My father gave a dairy milk. Used to give me a dairy milk and tell that, okay, now you this dairy milk. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 part 8 cubes are there. So he used to tell me, now I have given you, now start sharing to all the staff. I used to get very upset. What is this, dad? I mean, I cannot get, I will just get a bit, a piece of it. But right now, if I'm standing here, all thanks to him. And you won't believe, even now I do, even in Diwali, and I have taught that to my son also. In Diwali, in any festival which comes across, I tell I do more to my, the house helpers, to the needy, to the watchman. So because that feels good to me. I mean, I feel very happy for that. It's not that I'm boasting on that, but yeah, that gives me a feeling of contentment. Oh yes, even if I don't have that, I am blessed to at least I have that much of money so that I can share around with people. So that is learned from my dad, which years across he taught me that. So this is how you should learn to share, and that is still imbibed in me, and that I still believe in doing it to my son. He was a single boy. I mean, he was the only kid in my house. So I used to always fear that you never know, he may be very confined to himself, he'll be very selfish. But what I did was, fortunately, I got him, some pets at home, so that he knows, okay, yes, this is, you have to share something. I used to get my kids, friends' kids, so that, ask them to stay over, so that he could learn that, okay, yes, we have to share this, we have to share my toys. So that is how I thought, yes, let him get this habit of sharing. So how can, now a quick question again, so how can we improve relationship? What do you think is the pointer in saying, yes, this is how, Manisha, we can improve our relationship? How can we improve our relationship? What is the main you will say, okay, this point is the prime importance of relationship. So how can we improve that? How can you improve your relationship? Anyone? Sir, I think I'll be just troubling you all the time. So okay, so let me just say, okay, in case All are in mute. Let me just say.
Communication from my point of view. Yeah, here also we are getting.
Yes,
Naina also,
exactly.
Naina also
Yes.
pointed out that communication. So total vote two, two
Yeah.
votes.
Yes, two words. So most techniques, yeah, of relationship is centered on communicating your feelings to those you care about, right? How can you do that? By by doing what? How can you communicate with each other? So first is emotional intimacy. So what is emotional intimacy? It involves, like, candid, authentic, caring of thoughts and feelings. Like, I love my father, or maybe I love my son, so I have to tell him, like, show him in various ways. It should not be, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. That doesn't make sense, right? So we have to be so close, and we have to show in different ways that, okay, yes, he also knows that, okay, even if I'm doing something, I can come and tell. I can depend on my mother and come and tell, or mother or father, I can come and tell them that, and they will be there. I can share my thoughts, what I am feeling for somebody. That should be there. And emotional honesty, when we communicate our feelings, and we are emotionally honest when we hear another's feeling without judging, criticizing, or fixing or defending. Like, honesty. So we should not judge. If somebody is coming and telling me, okay, or maybe, your husband, so he goes out, he is back from the office, and he comes and tells me you that, okay, yes, this has happened. You should not judge him. You should not say, oh yes, this has happened because you are like that, right? So that should not be there. So once you tell that, that is completely gone. So next time he'll be like zipped, will not tell you anything. And same applies to, if husband, same applies to wife, and same applies to your kid. So you should not criticize. I have seen so many of them, like, in young age, people used to call and then say, okay, do you know to sing? The kids, normally you must have heard your, friends and relatives talking about, oh, he knows to sing, let ask him to sing. Oh, what is the need of that? Right? I mean, why are you embarrassing that child in front of, say, 10 people around, right? So, that is the most embarrassing moment. And then when you don't do, and when the child is like little embarrassed and doesn't, little shy and doesn't speak, so he said, hey, this guy doesn't know anything, so he is shy, and let him be like that. That should not be there. So, we should not criticize our kids, anyone. I mean, or any relative. I mean, in that case, your husband, your mother, your father, your wife. So you should never criticize in front of them, or of anyone. So, like, suppose you don't like something, there are different ways to express that. You can not that time, but later you can, down the line, you can just tell them, oh, what you did that time was, you could have done this better. You should not say, oh, that was wrong. You should not say like that. Or maybe you are quiet, and that person should understand, oh, because she's quiet because she didn't like that. So that should be the communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. Seeing your eyes. When I told you that, I know people that 90s and 80s, sorry, 80s and 70s, they used to just see the eyes. It was, they were the fear of, dad, and was as such that they used to not see the eyes also of the father. So that was non-verbal communication. That was a communication which your dad never wanted, but it used to happen because we were brought up like that. Oh, your father is around, please go and study, so because he'll be angry. So that was imbibe in us that, okay, yes, this is a, you don't have to communicate, this is the normal scenario, you should do this, right? And then taking care of health. So that is what I had discussed earlier also. Why health is important? If I don't take care of myself, will I be able to take care of my mother, or maybe my father, my aging father, or maybe my son, or my husband? So if we don't take care of ourselves, how are we supposed to take care of others? And if we keep eating, like, people say, people say that, oh, my son has got a habit of eating junk food. Who inculcated that in him? Right? It's us, right? It's us giving him that, oh, I don't have time, let's have Maggie. So I don't have time, let's have, samosa or something like that, right? It came from us, right? we could have taken out time to teach him that, or maybe even to teach him to start practicing, start cooking. That so every kid should know cooking, and that is a basic. You should know to cook. Only then, it is always said, everywhere I read these days that, okay, every male and female should be, the gender bias should not be there, and even male should know to cook, because survival is, how will you survive in case you are stuck somewhere and you're not able to cook? How can you survive? So that has to be taught. And how can if you are healthy, you can teach them everything. If they see, okay, my mother cooks every day and she makes all healthy meals with idli and sambar and dosa and maybe a paratha. So everywhere, I mean, different region wise, you have different foods to eat. But if the kid sees that, he will definitely get into that habit, right? There is no rocket science in that. There is nothing which is said, oh yes, my kids doesn't learn these things. This is just a simple trick, and everything can be sorted in that. So first thing is, take care of yourself, and then you can take care of your family. Just give me 2 minutes, right? Give me 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm extremely sorry. Okay, so here your family. How many times do you do that? Now let me say, let me ask MK sir. How many times do you sit with your wife and ask her, okay, bata aaj kya ho gaya? What has happened today, the entire day? How many times do you sit with your wife? Tell me. Yes, sir. MK sir, tell me, how many times do you sit with your wife to understand her, to ask her, okay, yes, tell me what's happening today? How many times? Anyone? So Deepa, how many times do you hear your kid, or maybe your mommy or your father? How many times? Or your husband?
Less than 10 nowadays. 10 numbers.
So yes, that is missing, right? So we don't hear. So if they start speaking, we said, "Arey yaar, wow, what's rubbish? No, I don't have that much of time to hear you." Right? Where will they go? Then they will search for somebody else to talk, right? And then you end up like, they end up making wrong friends, isn't it? So you have to hear them, sit with your family, understand them. I mean, what's wrong with them, unless and until we are human, right? We know to speak. So even if we are sad, we need somebody to hug us and tell, oh yes, I'm there, right? So hearing our family out is required, unless and until we sit, we spend some time, we ask them, they will not come up in the one fine day, okay, yes, Manisha taught me and let's talk to our kids. No. So this will happen gradually. So you should start speaking yourself first. That's like what I said, taking care of your health. The same way you should start speaking. Oh, I had a day today, and I did this. The entire day in the office I did this. I was stuck with work, and I was like, I had friends, we had coffee, or if you start talking, similarly your kids will learn, right? And they will start discussing, oh, I also had something similar to that, right? No, mom, I had something in my school, or maybe in the college, or maybe in your in your office place. That is how the interaction will happen. Once you start talking, that is how the interaction will start happening. And you should teach them the generosity, how to be generous. You should always tell your kids, okay, you should teach them, okay, try to appreciate others, try to love others, try to tell somebody, oh yes, you are looking fantastic today. Have you seen any time how much difference that makes to somebody's life? That makes a commendable difference. I remember once I had a master that used to stitch clothes. So the master, was very serious type of a person, and my dad had forgotten to take a receipt. Okay, and he used to never give anyone without the seeing the receipt. So my father said, that was the first lesson I learned from him, and I still believe in that. So he said that, okay, let's. I told, oh, you have not taken the receipt, and this is not going to give because he's very serious type of a person. So my dad said, let's try. So he went, and he said, wow, no, you are looking fabulous today. And this, I remember, I still remember he was wearing some black color prince coat. And then my dad said, oh, this prince coat is looking good on you, and you are looking handsome. You won't believe, trust me, he gave the clothes, all the blouses of my mother, or maybe all the dresses of my mother, without seeing the bill. So that is like, how can you be generous? And this symbol, I write, it was nothing, it was just to appreciate someone. And that guy was feeling fabulous. Maybe nobody has ever told him like that. And he was blessed. I mean, he said, okay, yes, this is your thing and you can take that. My father said, okay, now did you learn something, beta? And this is the thing you should always do. You should always appreciate, even if a simple watchman, the house helper, do you anytime go and tell them, oh, I'll help you, let me help you, how are you feeling well, are you feeling sad? I mean, we ask, we don't, right? So we are missing that generosity part is still missing. We have to inculcate that habit, right? And then trusting. Suppose your kids tell, in the college, the teacher comes and complain, oh, your son was making or your daughter was making this and this type of, problems, created this problems in the college or school. Or maybe somebody tells about your husband, or maybe somebody tells about your wife. So will you believe in them? Or will you trust your family first, right? You should always think, oh no, my son cannot do this. So I mean, it should not be that, oh, okay, yes, I believe my son or my wife or my husband would have done that. No, right? Or hearing them, should I come and start yelling and shouting at home? That should not be there. We should always trust them and give them a chance, right? Okay, even if they have made a mistake, let them learn from the mistake. But by trusting them, I trust you, you will do better, right? How many times we have said that to our kids? We are missing on that. We don't say, you just keep pressurizing them for, if I am this person, I'm an engineer, you should be engineer. We don't trust him. We don't ask them that, okay, what do you want in your life? That should be there. That feeling should be there, that, okay, they should come and tell me that, oh, this is what I am not. I am not that type of person. I am not good in maths. I don't want to be an engineer. There are many things in the world can be done, right? So that has to be, the trust factor, trusting your family relationship, anyone, your friend in that matter. You should trust them, understand them. Okay, yes, even if she has done wrong, there will be a reason behind that, right? So you should understand that fact, and we should, behave accordingly. Then that is how you believe, and you build a relationships and a stronger one. Like, support our loved ones. How will you do that? Give me a quick question. How will you support silently? If you say, like, oh, I support my son, but he doesn't know about it. How do you think this is possible? And how is it possible? How do you do? I mean, give me some instances. Okay, this had happened. Even in case your father has supported you silently, and you have that memory, or maybe your mother, or maybe your wife, or maybe your husband, anyone. So I want to hear from you all. How do you trust? I mean, how do you show that, okay, I love you and I love you silently? Like, what is that memory? I have one. And I if I tell, then you will understand, oh, this is a very common one which Manisha is saying. So let's hear from you all first. How do you support your loved ones?
Can I give an example?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I'm here to hear that.
Okay, I am 56. And when I go to my parents' place, and if wherever I sleep, and when I sort of get up later in the night, I see that my father has tied a mosquito net. And he's never been somebody to ever tell me that he loves me. Even when I speak to him, I can speak to my mom for half an hour, but I maximum speak to him for a minute. But I
Oh,
know he loves me, and that's an example.
and that is the tears I think you have in your eyes right now. Yes, that's an excellent example. I had similar to that, but since you have given a better one, so let's keep with that. So that can be, n number of examples like that, and that is a memory you have still there with you, and it'll be remaining for ages, and this will be again given to your kids. Like, you will be one day doing the same thing with your kids. I can vouch on that, you know so that is how it is. Like, support your loved ones silently. It's not always required to tell them, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. It doesn't. At times it's just a call, like, to say that I'm there for you. My brother keeps telling me, if I tell, oh, you forgot to wish me on my birthday, so he says, but you are there in my memory and I love you. So, but I always tell him, no, that doesn't mean that you don't phone me. So he said, oh, I forgot. So at times it is like, it happens that, the day you don't remember, but you remember her or him all the time, right? So that, and I can always say that he loves me a lot. So ask them questions. That's what we have discussed. How you feeling and how are you? That makes a lot of difference, and especially if you are abroad somewhere and you call your parents and ask them, how are you, dad, how are you, mom? That makes a lot of difference. So that should be always there in your life. How can you improve yourself? And how can you improve yourself? Can you just give me a quick example that, Manisha, I'm missing on something like this, I think I can change this. So what do you think? And in everyday's life, you think you can do some difference? I mean, if something you are regularly doing, you think you can change something, you think at certain corner of your mind, every time you do something and you think, okay, yes, I could have done something different, right? So how many times do you feel like that? How can you think you can improve yourself in some way or the other? What is something which is missing? You think, okay, yeah, this is wrong, which I'm doing, I can improve on that. What do you think? And something like that. Anyone? How can you improve yourself? It starts from you. If you are good, everything, whole world is good, believe me. So do you think you can improve yourself? Do you think, okay, yes, Manisha, this is a takeaway which I am taking, and I promise you, I'll put in you on LinkedIn that yes, I have improved on this, Manisha. So what do you think you can improve on? Something? Anyone? Ma'am was sitting in Moscow, I think Mexico. Yeah, ma'am, someone? I think she is jet lagged. Okay, so how can we improve ourselves? Is first thing is to acknowledge our error. So first thing is, was I wrong? I mean, can I improve on that? So yes, you can always improve. You always have a chance of improving yourself. It's always advisable to improve yourself than to ask somebody, oh, you are wrong and you should improve. No, it's always easy also, right? So improving ourselves is always easier than somebody else asking somebody else to improve. So we should always acknowledge our, if wherever we are wrong, let's say, okay, yes, I'm sorry, and let's not have this again, and I will always keep this in mind. I will not discuss this again, right? So that should be there. And we should understand, do you think it is very difficult to say sorry to your kids? How many of you say, if you are wrong, you say sorry to your kids? How many of you? Or maybe to your wife, or maybe to your husband? How many of you? Husband, I know you must be saying, but how many of you say, I'm sorry to your kids? How many of you? Anyone? Sudeepa? Yeah. Who says sorry to your kids? Do you all say? Or will you all start doing that from now?
Yes.
Yeah,
When I'm wrong, I will be definitely telling them so sorry.
very good. So that's required. That is required. So the generosity part comes from there. So if the kid says, oh, my mom said sorry, he will be definitely one day coming and say, oh, no, mom, it's okay, don't worry. So that should be there. And you should understand that every family member is unique, right? So you cannot be, you don't keep yourself in pedestal. See that, okay, yes, I had been an engineer, or maybe I am a doctor. Let my kids be a doctor. You have to become a doctor. You have to become a engineer. So that should not be there, right? Every kid is unique in itself, right? Every family member is unique in that case. Though we are born with the same parents, but we all kids are different, right? So we should embrace that uniqueness, and we should see that how can that plus point of my kid or my husband or my wife can be added and make a better relationship. So that has to be there, that uniqueness. We should find that, and we should try to understand that, okay, yes, he's different, let him be whatever he wants. You won't believe, my son, we are from the family where everybody is like engineer and doctor, doctor less, but yeah, engineer, the maximum of them are engineer. And it was very difficult because my son at 8th standard said, Mom, I want to become a actor. And I was like, oh, I'm gone. Because it was so difficult for me to convince my family that, oh, my son wants to be an actor. And it was very difficult, but believe me, trust me, yes, of course, he is back from his studies, and he performed amazingly well in New York Film Academy. He did amazingly good. Why? Because I trusted him for that. I told him, yes, I told him one thing, everybody was against me, don't send him there, there are so much drugs, and he will get spoiled, and that and this, and how will he do, he doesn't know to cook, and this and that. Everybody, believe me, not a single person on earth told me that, oh yes, that's a good decision. But it's only me and my son was like, I told him, yes, I trust you. And I told him that also, that yes, this is the only money I have, and this is the only life. If you spoil this, you are gone. I cannot, I being your mother, I'll always love you, I'll always trust you, but your life, it is you who have to build it. I can only always support you, I'll always stand by you, but then you have to build that. So that was the this strength which I gave him, and believe me, he did well, right? So now he's back, yeah, maybe in the lockdown, and still a long way to go, but yes, that is, he had performed incredibly well. That is because he wanted to be that. So that uniqueness was there, right? He was good looking, he was he wanted to be, he is talented, maybe not good in maths, but he is good in many other things. So that has to be brought up, seeing what is good in it and finding the strength, and then helping them to grow on that, right? And similarly, we have to see the weakness. Every kid can be something. I was not good in studies, but I was lucky. And my brother was very hardworking, very good in studies, but he was not lucky. So, so every time I used to score better than him. So it was almost like 1.5 years difference between me and my brother. And now he's in US and doing very good. He's in Walmart and in one of the best position right now. So there are only 4 or 5 positions like that in the entire world. So yes, so he was good in rest of the things. He was hardworking, and so that is how he grew. And I was not good in study. I was good in studies, but not very hardworking. That was my weakness. But still, yes. So that has to be there. Everybody has got some strength and some weakness, and consistency of one day you come, oh, I love you, oh, you are the best and I'm proud of you, and the next day you are not there. That consistency should be there. If you're sitting with your kid for studies, if you're asking your if you're sitting with your husband to discuss, if you're sitting with your wife to discuss the things, that should be everyday scenario. It should not be that, oh yes, today I've learned and let's go and discuss. No, the consistency of every behavior should be there. It should not be that, oh, one day I'm this side and the other day I'm completely the other side, right? So that consistency should be there. And then cherishing the moments you spend. Right now somebody said that, I cherish that moment when my father comes and, puts the mosquito net. So that is the moment. And I have given you so many examples, which I cherish right now. And I keep cherishing every day. And, I lost my dad in 2008, and still I miss him, and still I cherish all those moments. So just imagine somebody can make such a lot of difference in your life, right? Somebody is your father or your parent, or you yourself can make a difference to your kid's life. So try to do that, right? Write down each and every happy moment of your life. How can you I could just give you a story, a quick story, because it's almost we are at 8 o'clock now. So I'll just give you a quick story and let's wind up here. So there was a story of a girl getting married, and when she was going, her mother gifted her a wooden box, and everybody was shocked why she's giving a wooden box. So the mother called her daughter and she said, I'm giving you this wooden box. And every time when you have some good memories, please write down on a paper with your husband. You have a good memories with your husband. You spend your good time with your husband. Write down only good memories. Write down on a paper and keep posting it in that. Keep putting it in that box. So that daughter was very shocked. She said, "What? I mean, what does it, make sense? Does it make sense?" So she says, "Yeah, one day it will make sense, but right now you do only one thing, and don't open that box. Just keep putting in the memories, and every year, every time you have some good memories with your husband." So she kept doing that. So then after years, she had bad relationship with her husband, and she was not she was about to separate, and she was every day they fight at home, and the entire house environment was bad. So she called her mother up and she asked her that this is the situation in my house and I'm very fed up. I feel like leaving the house. Then her mother said, you remember that box which you keep writing and keep posting in that? She said, yeah. So she said, go and open that box and then read the letters which you have posted. Then she was like, are you serious? She said, yeah, please do that. And you won't believe, when she started reading the entire the good moments which she had spent with her husband, she was like very sorry for whatever was happening, and she was back to her husband, and they lived happily ever after. So why it is required, we normally, when we fight and we have an argument, we forget what are the good moments which we have spent together, what, how, and why, and when my kids or maybe my husband or wife has supported me. We forget that. So that is very important to cherish those moments, so that whenever we are angry, maybe with our kids or with our family relatives, we should understand that, okay, this was a moment when we had a very good relationship, and let's cherish that. So everybody should make a simple note in your diary, and at times go through that, read that in your leisures, and see how difference it will make in your life. So that is a lovely thing which you can always do. uh, Anything else which you think I can carry on, or should I close this here?
Wow, ma'am, you are a charming gardener that blossoms everyone heard here. And thank you. That's a wonderful presentation right now. So, each and everyone, prepare the questions. And
Yeah,
let me
it's a
share. Yeah, let me
it's an
share one
amazing.
thing. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, since
And
I was
have a
studying.
great applause. One minute. Great
Yeah.
applause, everyone. This is a certificate of appreciation and a thankful note from Brain City to our dear Manisha Chaudhary ma'am for sharing your valuable knowledge as a guest speaker.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
So I'm closing. I'm stopping sharing. Yes,
Thank you
here
so
we
much.
go. Here we go. Yes, Malika
Thank you
ma'am.
all.
Yeah,
Thank you
I'm in
all.
the. Thank you so much for this wonderful speech. Actually, I'm in the cafeteria, so I was taking my beer, this one breakfast. So that's
Okay.
why I couldn't able to speak. But I sent my message in the chat box. It is really amazing, amazing. Your the solution what you have given is wonderful. That is what is
Yeah.
yeah. That is what is true in everyone's life.
Yeah,
And
it is
that is
required.
so
You
yeah,
should
yeah,
cherish
yeah.
all your moment.
Yes,
Yeah, and
yes,
remember
yes.
me whenever you think, okay, you are depressed and you may be sad or something. I'm the person who's always happy. So, always remember that. You should always be happy. come whatever may be. I mean, life is like that. Everybody cannot be the same. Yeah, and life cannot be the same. So you should always cherish all those moments and enjoy your life.
Yes, 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 true, very much true. So we cannot expect from anyone, from your spouse or from your children, or even from your parents, from the dramatic kind of love and affection they should show. That we can able to cherish, we can able to feel the affection and love, where the different way what they are showing.
Yeah.
Because with the words they may not be able to, they may not be in the position to say, but because it is our practice, it is our traditional way of approaching people, we just show with our actions. So that is what that's we should feel. Excellent, excellent. You have felt each and every word, whatever you have given, the solution, everything is from your heart. I could feel
Thank
that.
you so much.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
blessed. Yeah, thank you so much.
And
Thank you so
there was lot of nostalgic moments, like you were talking about Shaktiman, Doordarshan, and a single television. Lot of kids or lot of family members sitting together. Yesterday, I had a talk with my husband. The same thing, that in our olden days we were spending like that, and how our kids were spending. They are missing that days like that. The same thing
Yes.
we're talking about. Exactly,
Exactly.
ma'am. Yeah, that relation, that bonding together as the family members sitting together in the same room, like putting that mat over there and sitting and eating something and everything. You made my day. Thank you.
I just
Yeah.
was going through it and I saw it. I said, like, this has to be discussed in the topic.
Yes, yes.
only one incident I want to share here, because which I remember.
Yeah.
My mother passed away by the year of 2017 at the age of 78 completed. We are three children for them. That is, I have two siblings. I'm the eldest one. But I had the feeling of that always my parents are neglecting me. They are not showing love to me. They are showing love to the other two children. That is my younger brother and younger sister.
Yeah.
So that's what is my feel. After her death, that is when we rearrange all her dresses in her cupboard. I saw one kerchief, which, sorry, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. It happens. Like you also made my eyes teary. Like while I'm thinking about that. So it happens.
Which she taught me when I was in 6th standard to do the embroidery.
I remember.
Within her saree. I'm sorry. I'm not talking.
Yes. But it is really good now. We are going back to that memories. We will be there with that our mummy, dad. And as I also don't have my mother and father right now, but thinking about them, thinking about the golden old days, we'll be getting back to that particular things. And you had given some more memories to her also, me also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is the cherished memory which we have, and we should always believe that we should give it to our kids also. That is what my basic this is.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
what I told y'all. If one
Mm.
thing I can make a difference in your life, I will be blessed.
Yes. Raji Cholaji,
Yes, Manisha,
share
it
your
was a
experience.
really nice session. And I was remembering when we used to live in joint family, there were around 30, 40 people, my grandfather, my father, my grandmother, and my cousins, uncles, aunts used to have a prayer together in the evening. So we still
Yeah.
remember those days, but now it's nuclear families and we are all staying in different places. So we normally what we do once a year we try to have one Zoom call. It was for last 2 years, or sometimes when there is a special occasion of somebody's birthday or somebody. So then we have a Zoom call and we make a international call with all the people. Somebody is in Canada, somebody is in Panama, somebody in Dubai. So we used to have that kind of celebration, cake cutting and all. So those memories you always cherish, and you see, these are the things which we give to our kids also.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
also get the bond with their cousins, and because nowadays only one or two kids are there. In
Yeah.
our times, or in my parents' time, there were 6, 7
Yeah.
kids were there. So my I have two sisters. Then my uncle had three sisters. So I used to have 5 sisters at one time.
Oh,
So those were the memories which always remain in back of your mind. But today's session made them come alive again, and I'm really thankful for you to give us such a beautiful session about family and relationship. And you see, I was thinking that I
Rajiv ji, you're muted. Rajiv ji, you're muted. Rajiv ji, you're muted.
Basically,
yeah.
you see, the thing is that you need to give freedom to your kids. That is one thing I think which will make your family more closer to you. And then you have to listen to them. That is main thing. If you are saying and saying and saying and not listening to your kids, then the differences start coming
Yeah,
in
exactly.
your life.
Exactly.
So that is all I can say. And thank you very much for such a lovely session. And
Thank you so much, sir.
I think you are part of now Brain City family, and anytime we would like to have your sessions in the Brain City forum for this family and relationship. And of course, maybe if you are a banker, so that way also we can have few sessions there. So thank you very much
Yeah.
for coming and
Thank you
giving
so much,
us
sir.
this